Hello. This is a rather spontaneous little video here that I'm making of my tea. And I have something very exciting that I'm going to do. Well, it might turn out to be really boring, but we're going to find out. I have something interesting to open on the 1st of January 2021. I have this letter, and this is a letter that I wrote to myself 10 years ago. I think it was at the end of 2011 that I wrote this, and it was like for a youth group event that we had. That would have been 8th grade, I think. But we wrote these, and we were not supposed to open them for 10 years. And there's just something very poetic that I like about these sort of exercises, and I am really glad that I made this. So I am going to read this and react to what my 14-year-old self would have had to say to me. Here it is. Katie Hale, 2021. Oh, reading the words of Katie Hale from 2011. So, I got it. All right. October 9th, 2011. So, almost 10 years. We'll say for the sake of argument that it's 10 years. But this is what it looks like. Dear Katie Hale, in 10 years. And I filled the front and the back completely. Dear Katie Hale, in 10 years. Hello, my darling Katie. This is Katie from the past. I wish I could deliver this in person, but that would create a never-ending paradox, which is never good. So, I guess you'll just have to wait to read this. But wait, since I'm writing it, technically I've already read it. Ugh, my brain hurts. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey and all that. Okay, so this is what's funny about that is literally this year I was watching Doctor Who for kind of a New Year's Eve thing just for fun because I never really know what to watch on New Year's Eve. And I was feeling very nostalgic and missing the past. And so I put on some Doctor Who. And that's just funny that that comes up. So anyway, how are you? Not great, but you know, thriving. How was high school? I'm a freshman now, starting my 9th grade year. Oh, high school was honestly pretty good. There were some really bad times, and looking back, there were a lot of mistakes that I made that I regret. But I enjoyed my time in high school, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm curious, how was college? I am so nervous that I can't think straight. I know it will be worthwhile, but it still scares me. What did you major in? I want to major in media communications and acting. I majored in film and theater production, and I started with a degree in film media communications with an emphasis in film, and then I moved on to add a theater requisite to that. So I literally did that, and college was not as scary as I thought it would be, and certainly not as scary as this Katie thought it would be. I hope you're still acting. If you're not, please remember the passion you had for it now. Oh my dear, if I could actually act right now, believe me I would. And I was acting right up until COVID happened, so definitely still acting, and I still love it, I promise. Are you dating anyone? Are you married? I kinda hope you're not. I'm not married. I kinda hope you're not. 25 is too young to be married. True. I agree. 25 is too young to be married. I guess I thought I would be 25 when I read this. I'm 24. I just turned 24, and I'm too young to be married. 100% agree. But if you are, I hope he's the right guy for you. Yes, you know the type of guy. Oh, interesting. Is he unique? Is he different from the average man? I hope so. So, moving on. Anyway, what else is going on? I hope you're still a sci-fi nerd. Is Doctor Who still on the airwaves? It better be, or there'll be hell to pay. If it is, you're probably on the 12th or 13th Doctor by now. I wonder how Matt Smith regenerated. I hope it was in a way worthy of how pompous he was. Acting better than David Tennant. Yes, I still love David Tennant. I hope you marry someone like him. I hope the new Doctor is like him. It is still airing. There's actually going to be a new episode today, for New Year's, with the 13th Doctor, and I literally, like I said before, watched it today on my little TV in my bedroom. I watched some Doctor Who, so believe me, I'm still definitely a sci-fi nerd. Maybe not as much as I was in 9th grade, but definitely still. That's amazing. Yeah, we're in the 13th Doctor, and it's a woman. But I still think her acting is a lot like David Tennant's, and even though I'm not super familiar with her seasons and I still have a lot to watch, I really enjoy her. And, okay, noted, marrying someone like David Tennant. Oh, I just realized that my high school graduation will be the same year as the new series' 10th anniversary. You better have a David Tennant / 10th Doctor party. Okay, fun fact, I did not have a party to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Doctor Who, unfortunately. However, I did have a party to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the actual series in 2013, and in 2014 my friends threw me a Doctor Who themed surprise party. So, I feel like that kind of makes up for it. And yeah, at the time that would not have happened. That's amazing. Anyway, are you still friends with any of the Michaela clan members? Brief editor's note here. The Michaela clan was what we called my friend group in school back when I was in middle school, high school. And basically, to sum up this portion of the video, while not revealing the names of the innocent, I do still know most of those friends that were in that group. I don't know them personally, most of them, but I know of them. And most of them are doing pretty well. So, anyway, I hope your life is a happy one. I also hope that your spiritual life is better than it is now. I hope Og will help with that, but I hope God will work in my life in the 10 years between your timeline and mine. I hope I can become a true follower and not just a half follower. But I do know one thing for sure. God answers prayer. He will forgive you and help you to forgive. With all due respect, Katie Hale. That is a Lemony Snicket reference, Katie. Here's what I'll say about my spiritual life, and what's upsetting to hear is, this time in my youth group, like middle school, high school, was when I felt the most judged and the most lost, and I felt like I was just following the motions of my faith, but I didn't actually believe it. I know that this thing about I hope I can become a true follower and not just a half follower. It was like you had to work really, really hard to be a Christian and to love God, and you had to try and try and try, but you might not really follow him with your whole heart, and you really had to give up everything, and it was this whole thing. And I felt so guilty about that all the time because I felt like I wasn't loving God enough because I loved other things like the science fiction stuff, the nerd stuff, the boys that I had crushes on. Like, I thought all of that was keeping me from something. And looking back on this now, I'm just like, Katie, you are so passionate about this stuff. And to think that it's like this is thrown in almost as like a last minute, like, hey, are you still a Christian? Because I felt like I had to believe this thing that I didn't believe it the way it was being taught to me, and I didn't believe in this idea of being guilted. I felt so guilty all the time, and I didn't know what to do about it. So when I see that thrown in there, I know it's this call out into the void of saying, like, maybe in 10 years' time, I'll have all of these answers. And I don't. I don't have all the answers, but I went through high school, I went through college, and I just think I know a lot more than I did then. I think faith is so much bigger than that. I remember writing this. I think I was in the car on the way home from church, and we were getting McDonald's, and I was writing this in the car. Little Katie, little 14-year-old Katie in the car, obsessing over Doctor Who and boys. And here I am, 24. I'd like to believe that Katie of the past would have been proud of me. I hope she would be proud of me. I think maybe she would be. That's the end, so thank you for watching. If this ever makes it online, thank you for indulging me, and I'll see you later.